let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I went through, I almost ended up making a list of all your notes. But,
Okay.
the things that really mattered to me that really came
Yeah.
forward was, if I start from the end, the insight about what was your man. Let me increase the size of that a little bit. Hold on. Font, just so we can see it a little easier. Yeah, the manageable, comfortable risk, the one that allows you to let the system be the system and let you be you.
Yeah.
The intersection between those two, where is the comfort level, is the manageable, comfortable risk that you've turned into a specific position size for every target that you trade. That's such a sense of relief, and the size of the weight that you can handle safely. I was thinking about the fail fast, fail forward, and I remembered it. Fail first and always. I learned. FAIL. And if
Okay.
you substitute the word learn for fail, it's a lot easier to swallow that pill.
Okay.
And I think this process of paper, pilot, production, diversified um, is solid. That's you're thinking like a production engineer, and that's what we want is to be able how quickly can I put this machine into action. I still got to care for the machine and maintain the machine, but that machine is leverage, and it's what creates other time. And I think this piece here, the integration of knowledge into skills that you talked about at the end, what we do is what we know. You know, we tend to emphasize, well, what do I think I know? What can I say in my head? There's a difference between understanding and doing it. At some point, you have to accept that what you do is what you understand. Part of the doing is what your limits are and how much variation. I know soccer moves. I can't always perform them perfectly. So what I actually know is that there's some variation in performance when I'm playing. And the thing is to find out how well I'm playing and play within that space of skill. And it changes sometimes. And so who you are as a trader matters. Your mindset, your mood, some of those things. Yeah, I also think that weekly encouragement and support. So you're using 2 weeks sort of as your campaign cycle, but I think there's something important in the weekly affirmation. I think of things as a standard week. That's how my own personal life is kind of a natural rhythm. That there's things that I do once a week, every week without fail. There's things that I try to do every day, like walk the dogs. But those weekly tasks, there's something important about the weekly cycle that allows me to check in. And I like that you have figured out that the 2 weeks for you is sort of the plan, prepare, execute, assess, that it takes 2 full weeks to do all of that to the level of depth that you want. I think your action and commitment going forward about focusing on the sniper and the ruthless risk management is very sensible. The sniper gives you plenty of opportunities. It has very clear patterns for target selection and patterns for use and then assessment and very clear exits. And then the ruthless risk management allows you to always, always, always protect first. Always have an out. I think that's excellent. I thought this one here about our authentic face is actually beautiful when you give it to the universe. There's no such thing as a bad gift if the intention is pure. It's the purity of the intention that makes the gift valuable, not the intrinsic value of the thing. Things don't have intrinsic value. The value of things is in what we ascribe to them. And if you're giving your authentic face to the universe with purity of intention, that's what the universe appreciates, is finally somebody gives an honest and truthful gift from the heart. And I think that really comes through in the the community of practice that we and little tribe that we have in the creativity weekly sessions. You can see how over time that the trust just continues to grow. It started with trust. It is now trust and confidence as we generate that. And I like this one too. The volatility is your friend, like electricity. Yeah, you should
I heard
respect.
that from you.
Yeah, you should respect electricity. Let me spell it correctly. Electricity. You should respect electricity, but if you want leverage, you have to be able to use it. That's what gives you an edge. And as an engineer, I think you really know that. I think the way you have internalized sketch your framework and find the bricks is you having internalized your own learning process for how to acquire new knowledge in order to put it into action quickly. If you have mapped out your own learning process, then you learn faster in a way that you can trust, and then it accelerates how soon you can start the paper trading, piloting, and production. So paying attention to how you learn is something that really came through, that once you had sorted out how to make notes in a way that was useful to you, allowed you to start leveraging your engineering training and all that. Yeah, and I think that the four sages, it really does help a lot for me too, because my training and background, it really goes back to those guys. I am much more traditional Chinese scholar than anything else, if I could say it that way. And that studying those 4 points of view has really helped me with that zero state and balance, and then the owl meditation to routinely process all of the stuff that happens each week. I have to do that every week in order to get all the way through it. I do that before I prepare my notes for our weekend sessions, because that's how I actually see what was going on and bring it all into focus. And I think if we just put a plug in for Ken Hum, and the live coach, I don't know if there's any better thing that we do each week than just watching him as a craftsman prepare his charts and think his way through it. And you see the bravery that he has when he takes those positions and how they follow through. And he really learns in public so well. I'm really impressed with the way he does that. Yeah, the note taking and the note making, there's something about the personal construction of knowledge. When you make notes in a way that is useful to you, it creates the connection in the moment, and then it's your ability to go back and reinforce that connection. So the notes have to be made in a way that you find satisfying. You have to learn that in the same way that you learn, patterns of action. It's a trade and a trading system just like anything else. You're trading time and attention for long-term knowledge creation. So that actually is a trading system in that sense. And there's a very large payoff if you do that well. This one I want to just highlight the importance of the compound critical states and the popcorn idea. We talked about that just yesterday in the creativity session. The idea that how the compound critical state that we can identify is a special moment for that target, that it has this much higher probability of making a large surprise move that's you can't predict exactly what direction, but you can predict that the size of the move is going to be great, and the bigger the move, the more the volatility, the clearer that becomes. And that's why the volatility is our friend, is that the explosion of the move is what makes it tradable. And we're not surprised when it happens, we're anticipating it. So that's where one of the edges are that we have. And then I would just say, the first two themes that you mentioned were all about the practice of trading, of putting it into action, demonstrating mastery, understanding by doing. The sword is the swordsman, the bowl is the craftsman. It's the making that does it. So I just was really impressed with everything you did there. I just really respect the hard work that you put in, and I can't wait to share this with other folks too, so they can see straight by the numbers what it takes to get this done. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you, and want to express my gratitude. I expect that we're going to get some questions for you. So round two of this is going to be
Sure.
some collection of questions, and we'll go through a dialogue with you. So I want to just say thanks again for the effort. And that's a pretty good hour at work right there. That's all I got for you now. I'm going to let you get back to work. You
I
got,
really want to say thank you, Ken.
yeah.
Within past 5 to 6 months, I learned so much from you. This
Well,
is
it's been mutual.
really
Mutual. You've taught me how to be a better teacher, that's for sure. And I've adopted a lot of your ideas as a student myself. And so have the others. Your inspiration and the example that you set has been very inspiring to the folks that work with you. And that's part of what it makes those weekly check-ins so powerful, is that we see other people doing the same work in their own way, and it inspires us to do it too. So you're you're a scout in that sense. You're showing the way. So
the other thing I want to say, if I may.
sure.
Within our student groups, we talk about, you know, often talk about this. Okay, why can't do that? He didn't do that for money.
Yeah.
He gave a lot of information.
Yeah.
So in my PPT, there's a sentence saying the information is there and it's free, but it's only there for ready mind. We have to be ready as students to learn
Yeah.
from any expert. But I really want to say thank you, Ken,
Yeah.
for your generosity. Never see such generous person in my life. Thank
Well,
you,
look in the
Ken.
mirror. When you look in the mirror, you'll see a very generous person. The fact that
Okay, thank you.
you are showing how to share, the interface. That's the true act of bravery. That everything else is easy compared to that. So I want to say thanks for your example. That's important stuff.
You're welcome.
Take good care, my friend, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, Ken. Bye bye.